Yeah, so obviously they're going to need some time because there's trauma to those tissues, whether or not it's just a little bit or it's significant. Regardless, like that person is going to need to rest. And I would say like there's a lot of conflicting data about ice, so I don't really want to give an opinion one way or the other, but I don't think I would recommend ice to everyone in these situations because there's some indication and information that ice inhibits the natural healing processes of the body because it basically shuts down blood flow to that area, which is counterintuitive to what most people think it does over the long term. So I don't think ice is a big thing. I think what I would do with someone right away is I would find a way to have, well, assuming they've rested and they're starting to feel a little bit better, I would do a couple of things to help bring their center of mass back. And that's probably beyond the scope of this podcast. But
Right.
essentially, I want to help them feel their heels all the time. I want to make sure that water is in front of the bowl so much. So another thing that do if the hamstring is too painful to do something like a 90-90 hip lift is you could do something like all four breathing, where you are basically in a quadruped position and you're rounding your back ever so slightly. You're mostly like retracting your rib cage. And if anyone wants to know what that looks like, I actually sent a tweet out about that just today. And essentially, if you can bring your center of mass back through breathing into your posterior rib cage, then you're going to allow people to expand air, and that's going to naturally push them back. And then if they can feel those obliques contract on the exhale, then that is going to allow that pelvis to come back to a more neutral state without necessarily have to going directly over after the hamstrings, because there are instances when you have an individual that has a hamstring strain or a hamstring injury and I can't do a 90-90 hip lift with them because that is just going to irritate their trauma. So I need to bring their pelvis back in another way through another muscle that would help do that. And for everyone, that is the obliques on the front side of the body. They have the same sort of joint action as the hamstrings, but they serve an obviously a much different function through respiration, through breathing. That's why we have them in this quadruped position where they're feeling their back rib cage expand, which is ultimately going to help bring their center of mass back as well.